Hi, Steep vlog here, musings of an engineer on non-engineering topics. I wanted to talk about the wheel of life as it relates to hobbies, leisure activities, fun activities, social events. The thing about those particular things as it relates to fulfillment is it just fills up your tank. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get away from the monotony of life, away from the workplace setting, and just kind of be, right? Be, exist, enjoy what you want to do, what you enjoy doing, whether that's playing guitar, playing golf, basketball, going to music events, maybe just reading a book, right? Um, and so one of the things is kind of taking the lens away from me for a little bit is doing a one-on-one with one of my best friends, Isaiah Harvey. Now, this brother right here, he's a competitive individual. He played D1 football as a 5'7" brother. I mean, shoot, imagine that. Um, but from a competitive side, we both share a passion in golf. And I was really good at golf when I was younger. I've been playing since I was 9 years old. But that was kind of the only sport that I was really good at. I mean, basketball was too short. The best that I got was point guard in JV, and I was a good shooter, but that was it. Wasn't juking folks up or like being like a little Steph Curry all over the spot. Um, but this boy, football, baseball, track, you name it. And so from his perspective, right, when you think about golf, a lot of people are like, it's a boring sport. You need no athletic ability whatsoever. But I mean, you can equate some of the passion and some of the competitive drive that he has to golf. And let's look into the mind of this brother and see how he envisions it. And the fact that this shared activity, something we can enjoy together, and how it brings happiness, joy, and fulfillment in our lives. So hope you guys enjoy the one-on-one. We'll talk with you later. One of my best friends over here, Isaiah, and sports is a big part of his life. And I kind of want to introduce how he got started with sports. And we're golfing buddies. And so how he actually took it to the next level in his life and made it almost a priority now. Every time we hang out, it's almost like we go golfing, or there's some type of swing mechanic that he wants to work on. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your passion for sports. Where do you feel like you got your passion for sports?
Man, I grew up in a household full of athletes. From my oldest brother, I'm one of six. Two older brothers, myself, my three younger sisters. Uncles, all passionate about sports. Basketball, baseball, football, you name it. So that was ingrained in me at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
It was second nature. So always competed with my bros.
Yeah.
Well, the oldest was out of the house. He was in New York at that time, but the second oldest, him and I would compete. I would always strive to be better than him at whatever sport we were playing.
Got it. Well, I can attest to this guy being good because I couldn't beat him in spike ball, bro. He's an athlete in spike ball.
No L's in spike ball.
And that's when he lived in San Diego with me, so we would go to the beach quite often and hang out. But the fun fact here, y'all can probably Google it, but you played for the Oregon Ducks football.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about how you walked on there, and he's a wide receiver. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was one of the major blessings in my life. Walked on as a receiver for Oregon, and that was a journey in itself. I attempted to walk on my freshman year. Bilotti was a coach then, and it was the tryout was pretty interesting. None of the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, the head coach wasn't even there, just strength and conditioning coaches. And they gave us three things to do: 40, shuttle, vert. That was it. And I finished actually top three in all of them. Wow. But because of my stature, I'm only 5'7". I was trying out for receiver at that time. The style of offense Bilotti was running, I wasn't really a good fit at that time.
Yeah.
So, hey, I tried out. I attempted. So I went to intramurals, crushed it there, just had fun. And while I was playing intramurals, my buddies would always say, bro, why aren't you on the team? Why aren't you trying out? What are you doing? Why are you only playing in the murals? So, fast forward 2 years later, my junior year, I was convinced to try to walk on again. So, walked on. Chip was the head coach at that time. He was there. The entire coaching staff was there. He ran a legit tryout to understand, hey, is this an athlete? Does he have a football IQ, or does that person have a football IQ? And went through the tryout. I was one of 5 selected, and that was a magical year. It was the year we went to the BCS National Championship. Fortunately, lost to Auburn. Still sad. Yeah.
An impressive feat for a brother at 5'7". I'm not saying I'm 5'7", and I wish I could play football or basketball, but the fact that you're able to walk onto a Division I collegiate team,
Yeah, it was a blessing.
that is amazing. And he started out, you said, in the Pop Warner League.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you got your start.
Yes, sir. 2nd grade. Had to work with my dad, convince my mom to let me play. She was not having it one bit, but told her to trust me, trust the skill, trust the talent, and the rest is history. She let me play.
There you go, man. And so the thing about it is, I think there's a certain player that you tried to emulate growing up.
Absolutely.
And, this guy was pretty nasty. What's his name again?
His name is Barry Sanders.
Oh, Barry Sanders.
The GOAT.
The
best running backs to ever play the game.
Awesome.
Loved his game. Dude is small in stature, but such a beast. Extremely elusive. We've seen the highlights of him breaking ankles. But the one thing that really stuck out to me is, once again, being a small guy, he was extremely powerful too. Not only would he break your ankles, he would run you over. So I'm small, and I was like, you know what? That's who I want to emulate there.
Hey, man. Might as well, bro.
And
so, yeah, I mean, I can attest to his drive to achieve, and, he's a competitor. We out in the golf course, talk a little trash, you beat me once. I had to get him a shirt, but it's fun to kind of have that competitive spirit with him and just have a good time. And wanted to talk a little bit more about his passion for golf, because I know sports has been a big part of it. But like we talked about earlier, as an athlete, especially in most of these, I don't want to say aggressive sports, but more physical sports.
Yeah.
You can't do it for a longer time. So, what made you gravitate towards golf to fulfill that kind of urge, that passion that you had?
Man, it started out randomly going to the driving range and golf courses with you and my wife. It wasn't anything I honestly thought I would be passionate about. We're just going out there, hanging out with the homies, having a good time, whacking the ball, see how far I can hit it.
Yep.
And then
you had a baseball swing, by the way.
Yeah.
Had.
Yeah, I'm still working it out. It's a work in progress. But after, you get it. You strike the ball a few times, like, ooh, this game is cold. Okay.
Yeah, it's that feeling, bro.
I see why people are attracted to this game. And it's a game you can play for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And in that pursuit of creating the prettiest PGA quality swing, which I found out you got to just work with your swing. No need to emulate the pros.
Yeah.
Be you, do you, and it'll work out for you. But in the chase of that, I just fell in love with the sport.
Very challenging sport.
And, bro, humbling.
Yeah, you look at we can talk a little bit more in the future about someone like a Michael Jordan, right? You got 6 rings. You're the best athlete in the world, and this boy done transition to golf. Even when he was playing basketball, and it's a passion of his. You'll see him at all the Ryder Cups. But he's a good player. But I can see someone such as yourself, as a sports fanatic, someone who has a passion for sports, as well as Michael Jordan, maybe not getting that fulfilled on the basketball court anymore or on the gridiron, but on the golf course.
Absolutely. So. Oh yeah, no doubt. It's a different type of fulfillment too. Like since 2nd grade or since I could walk, I remember dedicating my life to sports, football primarily. You don't you realize the mental aspect of it, preparing your mind, the physical aspect as well. Golf, it's a different type of challenge, not as grueling on the body, but the mental aspect. I love that. I love that. It's a challenge, bro.
Yeah.
Such a humbling game. You think you're a top athlete, and then you try to hit this golf ball and you shank it, you hook it.
Boy, I feel you, man.
The struggle is real sometimes, but that's what makes me love it, because it's that challenge. It's a mental game too.
It is.
Boy,
It
once
is
you
a
understand
huge
the mental game of golf, the mental game of the course strategy, man, it's such a fun game.
And it's like dependent on you as a player, as a person, right? Because when you
Exactly.
start fixating on other players, let's say you're playing competitively, that's when you start messing up, or you're thinking too far ahead, or thinking about the last hole. You kind of have to play within yourself, because I feel as if you start looking at other golfers, or you start comparing yourself, you kind of lose sight of what you have to do in the now.
Yeah.
Unlike football, right? You're relying on your teammates. Basketball, you're relying on your teammates. It's a team sport, but this is you.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, that is so true. You nailed it right there, bro. Getting caught up in the comparison. When you and I compete, you hit a nasty drive. I must say, my man, he can drive the ball pretty nasty. I got to give it to him.
Appreciate it. Sir.
So if I see you hit a nasty drive, I'm like, okay, I need to outdo you, and I'm gonna swing out. Swing for the fences, and I'm over here shanking it because of that. So realizing that, hey, I need to focus on my game. You're gonna play your game. My game is completely different. I need to focus on how I hit, my strategy, where I need to get the ball for the next shot. So yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, I played golf since I was 9 years old. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. Y'all got to figure that one out. But 38. But anyways, the thing about it was, when I was growing up, maybe you can attest to this, right? Maybe let's see if you can equate this to your game. When I was growing up playing competitively, I would get so pissed off because I had such high expectations for myself on being the number one golfer. When I had a bad hole, I could never forget it. I would be so pissed off, just hitting. Fortunately, when I was young, I was balling out of control after I played a bad hole. But as I got older, and I fixated on the past, it just didn't allow me to play in the present and play good anymore. And the reason why I say it's like life is it's just like life, If you fixate on past mistakes and, past relationships, and you don't focus on the now, on the next hole, the next shot, or the next aspect of your life that you need to move forward towards, you'll be stuck. And that's the thing about I love about golf is the same mental aspect that you got to have in life, you got to have in golf as well.
Absolutely.
And it trains your mind. And as I grew older, as my mental state has gotten better, I feel like my game has been more mature, and I've been able to play a lot more stress-free and just have more fun. And I think at the end of the day, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, it has to be fun. So true. And that reminds me, you touching on that reminds me of the book, Golf is Not a Game of Perfect, and it exemplifies life. Life isn't going to be perfect. There's so many ebbs and flows of life, so many seasons where you're shouting from the mountaintop, promotions, bonuses, life achievements, growth of families, marriages, all these pivotal milestones, and then you have the rough seasons that you go through.
Yeah.
Breakups, you name it, loss of job, things like that, death, those things are hard. But once again, the ebbs and flows, and golf, ebbs and flows, not a game of perfect. You're going to have a shot that goes offline. You're going to have a bad drive, and not getting caught up in the moment, understanding that, hey, there's that next shot.
Yeah.
What's the next shot? How do I make that next shot?
Exactly.
And to your point, when you're able to approach the game that way, it allows you to have the joy, because you're not so focused on, man, I messed up on that shot there. Now it's a trickle effect in the wrong way. So.
Definitely. Well, thanks for your time, Isiah.
Absolutely,
One of my
brother.
best buds, man. We
My
have a lot of
pleasure.
good times. We went to Tampa for a golf trip about 2 years ago.
Smacked
Before
him out there.
I had to buy him a nice little Nike shirt. It was fly. I got to make my brother look good. I intentionally lost because he looking scrappy on the course. But you know, he got a baby girl now, and so you know, we won't. We try to make an effort to go out. Maybe not a big golf trip. Maybe Bandon Dunes at some point. We got to convince Lo. But
absolutely.
yeah, we'll talk a little bit more in the future. Appreciate you sharing your passion
Absolutely,
for golf,
bro.
especially coming from a collegiate athlete. So, man,
Love you, my brother.
yeah, love you too, man. Shoot.
Appreciate you.
All right, Steeped out.